What's going on, guys? Kyle Stout here with elevateandscale.com, and in this video you're going to learn 3 ways to tell your brand story on social media without talking about you or your company. So if you've been watching these videos, if you've been doing some research about creating a brand story, hopefully you know by now that we really want our ideal customers to be the hero of the story. We don't want to position ourselves or our business as the hero because that's not what they want. Every person has a story they're telling themselves about where they are in life and where they're trying to go, what they're trying to avoid, all that. And they don't care about our story. They care about themselves. They care about what's in it for them. Whenever they go to your website to potentially buy your product or service, they care about what's in it for them. So we always want to connect things back to them. And we do that by telling a story that when they hear that story, it sounds like, oh, that sounds like me and my life getting better and my problems going away, as opposed to, that story sounds like this company is going to continue to be more successful if I work with them. They don't care about that, okay? So it's really easy to do this. It's really easy to tell your brand story without talking about you or your company at all. And so I'm going to give you 3 easy ways to do this with your social media content. The first thing is to only talk about stuff your ideal customers care about, not just any customer, but your ideal customers. So if you sell a high ticket item, you want to talk about the value that that item provides, not the price. Because people who buy high ticket stuff, people who buy luxury goods, they buy, just look at like an Apple customer versus an Android customer. They don't care about the price that much, right? You notice Apple never talks about the price. I mean, yes, they have to mention it. It's a formality, and people in general want to know what the price is. But most Apple buyers, myself included, it's like, we're just going to buy it. I've already decided I'm just going to get the next iPhone. I don't really care what the price is, assuming it's not terrible. Assuming the product itself is not terrible. So high ticket buyers, they care more about what they get out of it. They don't care about the price. So if you talk about all these ways to save money and this and that, then you're going to attract cheaper people who can't afford or don't want to pay for what you offer. So the next thing would be to take a stand against the stuff that your ideal customers hate. Or another way to look at this would be to take a stand against the qualities that are the opposite of the people you want to attract. So I'll give you an example. Whenever I was a fitness coach, initially I was attracting clients who would not follow through with the plans I would give them. I'd give them the diet plan and workout and everything, and they would just, totally blow it. They might skip a few workouts. They might not follow their diet for like half the week or whatever. And they always had these excuses. And it's like, yeah, I could just keep taking their money and they wouldn't get results, but I don't like, that's not fun. I wanted to actually help them get results. But the other thing is, I just found them annoying. I just didn't want to work with people like that, regardless if they were paying me. So I started actively creating content on Instagram, just making fun of people who were lazy. Like, I would do it all the time. I would talk down on it, and it was intentionally in a polarizing way. I wanted people who make excuses to be completely turned off from working with me. And what's interesting, what I found about that was it had the intended benefit of only, I only started having sales calls with people who like were with it and they were willing to put in the work. It just give me the plan, I'll do it. I don't care what you say, I'll do it. That was what I intended to happen, and that's what happened. But the other benefit was, which I didn't see this coming, was that inevitably, of course, everyone's going to fall off. Everyone's going to fall off their diet or their workout plan at some point. And that's not what I'm talking about when I said these people were excuse makers before. Those people were just lazy. So what would happen is when my new breed of clients, whenever they would have a little slip up or whatever, because I was always so outspoken against laziness and excuses and everything, they would kind of punish themselves in advance. They would come to the call and be like, okay, look, I know this is just an excuse, and it allowed me to not have to be hard on them to push them because like they had kind of already been preconditioned from my content. So it allowed me to come in and just be more supportive. And I could take a more supportive stance and just get them right back on track. And it worked out really well. I ended up having amazing clients. They got great results and they were super fun to work with. I'm still friends with a lot of them to this day. So that's, again, if you take a stand against either something your clients hate, so they know, oh, okay, we're, me and this company, we're on the same team, we're on the same side, we believe in the same things, we have the same values, or taking a stand against something that's opposite of the people you want to attract. Even if those people aren't in your audience right away, they will start to filter themselves out. Okay, so the third thing is to share stories about your customers. And the reason for this is that if you're creating content, if you're doing it yourself, that there are certain things about you, the way you look, the way you talk, your body language, there are certain things that some people will like and some people will not like. It's just the way it is. But if you share stories of your customers, now you have more opportunities to resonate with more people. They may not, someone might be kind of consuming your content because maybe they like the information, but they may not love you. So they may not be totally sold yet. And then you share a story of a 42-year-old woman who bought your product and absolutely loves it. And this is how she's using it and blah, blah, blah. And then now they're like, oh, okay. See, I couldn't understand how this, 30-something-year-old guy, I just couldn't really relate to how he's using it. But now it makes a lot more sense to me. Oh, I could see myself doing that. So the more you share stories of customers, for one, it's just social proof, showing people that you have customers that are happy with what you sell, showing off the results they're getting. But it's also an opportunity to connect with more people and to tell different versions of your brand story that will resonate with people just like the customers you already have that you like, right? Without you having to make up something, without having to try to manufacture it by creating content and posts that speak about those things. It's just way easier to bring in a real life scenario that the recipe is already made for you, right? Just like I said, there's certain things about you that people will like, and all of these customers, these stories you share, it's going to be the same thing. There's going to be certain things about those stories and those people that resonates with certain groups of people who might not have liked or resonated with anything about you. So now you're expanding who you can reach to still fit within that ideal customer profile without having to worry of the limitations of you being relatable. So those are the three easiest ways. If you do those things, you could literally only do those things. You could literally only create content around using those three themes, and you'd be totally set, and you'd be so much further ahead of most brands. If you look at most brands that aren't big brands with loyal followings, their content sucks. It's boring, and they're just trying to do keyword research and there's Google traffic for this, so we gotta, people don't care about that. People care about real life stuff. So if you want to learn more about creating a brand story, what to say to get inside the head of your prospects to convince them to buy, and how to implement a consistent message across all of your marketing channels, click the link below to download the free guide I put together for you. So I hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next video.